Welcome back to the Dynasty Arsenal podcast. This is episode 13. I am Sammy Stacks, joined as always by my good friend and co-host Tags. And Tags, I just want to welcome everybody in and say that I am very sorry if you faced Jahmyr Gibbs this week. We are allies. We are with you. We're all in this together.
Weekly Jahmyr Gibbs support group.
Oh my gosh, dude. It just felt like the points were never going to stop. They were rolling in and it just...
I got lucky and only faced against him in one of my teams that I'm full punting on. And I'm like, you know what? This is fine. All my teams I'm trying to win in somehow dodged that Gibbs bullet. And I was like, thank goodness.
So Tags can sit this one out. Everybody else that did face Gibbs, I see you, I hear you, and I love you.
Did you just get that notification? He just scored another touchdown.
Oh my gosh. He has 70 points.
He's up to 70, guys.
It's over. I mean, I have him in one league where there's a few big play bonuses, and he hit 63. That's just insane. It's ridiculous. Like, absolutely ridiculous.
It's funny because my game day setup, I've got a widescreen in front of me, a screen up top, a screen off to the side. I've got like 5 or 6 total monitors that all have a game going on. I swear every time I looked over at that Lions game, I'm like, oh, there's Gibbs just like trotting into the end zone. Not as no one else on the screen around him. It's just him in a wide open field. I'm like, are there other people playing this game right now, or is he just doing like one-on-ones right now?
Dude, if Vrabel lets Travion loose this week against the Giants, it could be bad for them. The Giants cannot defend an outside run to save their lives, which with the defensive front as good as it is a shocking. Like it's just shocking to me. They have like the best trio of edge rushers in the game, and they can't defend an outside run. I don't know, but yeah, Travion could absolutely go nuclear.
I don't know, man. Did you see how many offensive linemen we lost this past game?
That's true. Yeah, the Patriots are banged up.
Literally lost half our offensive line. So it's going to be a movable object against a stoppable force situation. It's just going to be a stalemate. The Patriots had like, I swear, like 13 plays on like the 1 yard line, and we could not get any push.
I was raging. I have Diggs in the Flock League, and I had that game on. I have Diggs and I have T. Higgins, so I'm glued to that screen. And yeah, it was like one of the series, it was like 3 plays from the 2, and then there was like a pass interference in the end zone. And then it gets to like 4th down, and then there's like a hold. So they brought it back to like the 11. But then there was a penalty on the Bengals. So then it was like 1st down. Oh my God. It was insane. And they didn't score a touchdown. Unbelievable.
Do you remember that one, the one tush push game where they tried to tush push like 3 or 4 times and it didn't work? And then they got a renewed set of downs. And then the refs were like,
it was like 6 in a row.
If you try this again, we're going to have to penalize it because it's really boring television. That's basically what they were saying. That was the Patriots as soon as we got to the 1 yard line. That entire game.
Brutal. It didn't matter if it was Terrell Jennings. Didn't matter if it was Ramondre.
Dude, they literally tried anybody.
They tried everything.
Let's try Mace Sneak. Let's try Hendo. Let's try Mondre. Nope. So I don't know. I don't think it's going to be Henderson running everywhere. I think it's just going to be a good good against on the inside defensive line versus a bad offensive line, and it's going to be a struggle.
Yeah. Well, this week we are going to go back to the basics. We're just going to do some risers and fallers. Some guys whose value has changed. Some guys who have had their value change drastically over the last month and a half, 2 months or so. We did this week 5, I think, week 4 or 5, and a lot has changed.
Yeah, it's about time to refresh.
Obviously, yeah. So we're gonna refresh it. We're gonna hopefully talk about some names we haven't discussed very much so far this year, and we can get right into it. I can go first. This is a guy that we did discuss a few weeks ago. when we did the free agency episode, and it's George Pickens. So George Pickens, I feel like this past offseason, obviously he gets traded to the Cowboys, and people are excited about that, but his value didn't change a ton because he's going from an offense where he's the clear number one in Pittsburgh to an offense where now he is the clear number two. And he had never put up a top, like a wide receiver 2 season in his career. He never really produced to the level that people expected of him when he was coming out of Georgia. And then this season, he's just going absolutely insane. So he's 24.7 years old, and he's currently the wide receiver 12 on Keep Trade Cut, which is pretty nuts. He's averaging 20 points per game this year compared to CeeDee Lamb's 17. So that's in the games where CeeDee was completely healthy. I got rid of the game where he got injured. 17 points per game for CeeDee, 20 for George Pickens. Now, he looks in line to get a huge contract. But, Tags, we see this every offseason with the Cowboys. There's always drama. It always feels like they do it at the very last second, and they never save any money because of it. Do you have any worry here that it ends up a situation where there's some bad blood? Because to me, it doesn't seem like George Pickens is the type of guy to take $1 less than he thinks that he's worth.
And I mean, he's kind of shown that he's worth every dollar. I was like,
Yeah.
You're making the comment that Lamb was A, Pickens B, but like right now, Pickens is kind of the A. He's balling out.
Absolutely.
So I don't have any concern. Like the Cowboys have to re-sign Pickens.
They also had to pay Micah.
That
right?
is true.
Or they had to keep Micah. Like this Jerry, Jerry scares me. And this is the perfect situation for Pickens.
I think Jerry's mindset though is kind of offense is fun, defense is not. Like Jerry wants to get people in the seats. So he's had a history of being way more willing to pay his offensive players. I mean, look at the contract he gave Zeke, and he already paid up Lamb. Yeah. I think Javonte is coming back. I think Pickens is coming back. And then they're going to just hit on defense in the draft. That's probably the most cost-efficient way to fix some of their problems. So I don't have really any concern with Pickens going away. I would say there's like 80% chance he stays. And even if he leaves, I'm going to be hyped because it means a team's willing to pay him 35 mil, 40 mil, I would imagine.
Yeah, and at least now we know for sure that he's capable of it, right? Because in Pittsburgh, he showed flashes, right? He'd have a big game here and there. He'd have a spectacular catch here and there, but it was never consistent. And now at least there'll be some definitive answer to, is this guy actually a good wide receiver? We know that he is. He just needs the right situation, and this is the perfect one. I hope for his sake, for everybody's sake, that he stays in Dallas. The other thing I wanted to ask you about him, so right now, CeeDee Lamb is valued as the wide receiver 7. He's 26.6 years old. George Pickens, valued as the wide receiver 12. He's 24.7. What would you have to see to get to January, and we're talking startup value, what would you have to see the rest of the year, or have you seen it already, to value George Pickens ahead of CeeDee Lamb this summer?
Lamb is getting close to the dreaded 27 tag.
He is.
I would have to see him getting a big contract from the Cowboys because it means they're invested in him. And really, other than that, he just has to keep up the pace that he's going. He's currently putting up wide receiver 1 numbers. So
He's
as
like
long
the wide
as
receiver 2 on the year, yeah.
Yeah, so as long as he maintains that and he gets the contract locked in, that's all I need to see. Because he's already outproducing Lamb. He's 2 years younger than him. What else would you have to see if that's not enough for you?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's going to be a really tough conversation because there's so much precedent of CeeDee being the alpha number 1 guy, and this is the first time we've seen anything like this from Pickens. And it's really hard, and I don't know if the market will adjust based on the priors that they have, but it is a completely valid conversation with the 2 years extra youth, especially, like you said, if they invest a long-term deal into him. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting conversation come startup season.
Yeah, but it's fun to have these conversations now, so we can kind of watch it play out.
Absolutely.
Nothing has shown that Pickens is going to slow down from this pace. So if he just maintains and gets the contract, I'm all in on him.
Yeah, absolutely.
My riser is not as well known of a name. Well, kind of known, but haven't talked a whole lot about him. It's John Metchie, who's having a little bit of a resurgence with the Jets. And going to Metchie's history, he was a 44th overall draft pick in the second round of the 2022 draft. We all know the cancer situation he dealt with, had to step away from the game for a while, and then came back. And I wasn't a huge fan of his draft profile. I thought 44th pick overall was a lot, but he's kind of a beloved person in the locker room, and he's a solid contributor, and he's getting the opportunity with the Jets now. 13.5 points last week, 18.5 points this week. He's obviously got the volume with no Garrett Wilson in the lineup. So I think his situation is really interesting. He's obviously pretty much picked up on every waiver wire I've seen. And he's got an interesting situation with he's a free agent next year. Jets don't have anyone currently. Right now, Jets are just doing open wide receiver tryouts during their games.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it's going to be interesting to see where he goes, if he goes to a different team in the offseason. But if he's producing with the Jets, I kind of just hope they give him a contract extension. They found a place that values him and kind of already knows how to use him. They've kind of unlocked him the past 2 weeks. And obviously the Jets need wide receiver help with Garrett Wilson and Mason Taylor there, and that's basically it. Maybe AD Mitchell figures it out if he can finally catch a ball and stop dropping everything. But I thought his situation was interesting because he's obviously skyrocketed up Dynasty value. So didn't know if you had any thoughts on him.
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting conversation. He's one of those guys where no part of his talent is the reason why it's taken him this long, right? Like you said, he was a second round pick. I believe he was at Alabama, right?
Yep.
And he was productive there, and then ends up on the Texans and never really gets a good shot because they have so many guys ahead of them there, right? Like last year to start the season, I think he was like a part of training camp last year, but then it's Nico, Diggs, and Tank Dell. Right. And so it's just a little difficult to get in there. And so finally with an opportunity, he's showing that he has a little bit of talent. And I think I agree with you that it'd be nice if he stays on the Jets. I think wherever he lands, you would hope that the Jets would try and address the position in the draft, maybe with a high pick. We both love the NFL Stock Exchange. And one of the hosts on that podcast is a Jets fan, and he is clamoring for like a Jordan Tyson or a Carnell Tate. And I think something like that could definitely happen if the Jets have a high pick. But yeah, I think he's very, very talented. And yeah, like you said, he's on waiver wires. And I think that I'm excited to see what he does the rest of the year here. Finally, they have somebody who will throw the ball for more than 60 yards. So that can't hurt Metchie. And honestly, I think we could lump Adonai Mitchell in here too. Yeah. Like he's got to start catching the ball a little more.
Like I said, it's open tryouts for Jets.
Exactly,
games.
But like the target volume has been there, and like these are the kind of guys who maybe just need a shot to get some more volume to be able to show what they can do. So yeah, I really love the pick.
If AD Mitchell could catch a ball, he would have had probably 80 yards in that Patriots against Jets game. Yeah, he was open. Yeah. He got open. He's obviously very athletic. We knew that from his draft profile. He just, for some reason, cannot piece everything together between the route running, the physicality, and then just securing the ball and catching the ball. There's this always, every time he runs a route, one of those things is off. It could be the route running on a play, and the next one, route running and physicality is there, and then he just drops the ball. He just needs to get that whole package figured out because he's kind of what we look for in a wide receiver. He has that bigger play potential. Mm-hmm. He just hasn't been able to piece it all together yet. So maybe that changes. Maybe it doesn't. But yeah, I feel like both of those guys are kind of locked in there because they both have looked decent. Metchie's been the most productive, obviously. It'll be interesting to see if they still use him when Garrett Wilson is back. I'm hoping Garrett Wilson is back before the end of the year, just so we can see what that would even look like before this offseason.
It'd be good to get just a little taste of how that sort of functions. Because Garrett Wilson is such a clear alpha target earner that you worry for the volume being taken away from those guys. My next pick for a riser is Kyle Monangai. So Kyle Monangai, he's 23 and a half years old. He was obviously a 7th round pick in this past draft in 2025. In 4 of the last 6 games, he's seen double-digit carries. Now, for running backs, we love opportunity. And Swift only missed 1 of those games. And in that game, Monangai went nuts. He had a huge day. I think it was against the Bengals, if I'm not mistaken. So, pinch of salt to be taken with that, just because they are the worst defense since they started calculating EPA.
Unless they're playing the Patriots on the 1 yard line.
Well, of course, because that's when every bad defense turns incredible, obviously.
They and Zach Taylor threatened to take away the ping pong table.
There you go. What is with that this year? I've seen that over and over again. Just like Lamar took all the fun games out of the room, and they go on a 5-game winning streak. It's very weird.
That's all that's needed. You just got to take away the
no more fun. And then
it's all business.
Yeah. So with Monangai, I feel like Gibbs and Monty is a lazy comparison to make. Or it seems like one, because Ben Johnson, it's not going to be the same when he comes to the Bears and did all this stuff. But it's also not crazy to think that Ben Johnson really values having 2 running backs to split the carries. We saw in Jahmyr Gibbs' rookie season, I remember that very first game, they were playing opening day against the Chiefs on the Thursday night. First drive, everybody's so excited to see Gibbs, 12th overall pick. His first NFL game, first drive, it's Montgomery the entire time. And everybody's like, what is going on here? What do we do? We're not using the 12th overall pick? And this continued literally up until this year. Most games, Monty would get the first drive. And they really value having Gibbs saved for those explosive plays. And recently we've seen Monty fall off a little bit, and Gibbs's usage has gone up. His snaps have gone up, all this kind of stuff. But I think that Monangai could have some real value here long-term as the running back 2 in this offense, even if Ben Johnson adds his Gibbs equivalent somehow, right? Be it through the draft or free agency or whatever. But in the past 2 years, behind Jahmyr Gibbs, in production at least, in Detroit, Monty finished as the running back 15 and 16 in points per game. Obviously, it's a really, really good offense, right? With a really good offensive line and a really good situation, and they play off the passing game and all this stuff, and it's a perfect situation for Montgomery. But I think Ben Johnson could build that in Chicago, and Kyle Monangai could have very relevant seasons starting in your lineup behind another running back. He's risen to running back 28 on Keep Trade Cut, and he's like floating around names like Woody Marks, Jaylen Warren, Trey Benson, Bashal Tootin, Zach Charbonnet. So some of those guys are starters, some of those guys are handcuffs. I drafted a ton of Monangai because I love targeting those in the 4th round of rookie drafts, like the running backs with a non-stud ahead of them. That's sort of like my favorite pick in those late rounds. And I'm really excited for his long-term value.
So you see him as a long-term asset?
I do.
Interesting. It's scary to pin that tag to a running back with a 7th round draft capital.
Absolutely. Yeah.
As a huge Dameon Pierce truther, his rookie year, they just can fall off so quickly.
How did that fit with the coaching staff though? Because what I see here is I see Ben Johnson picking Kyle Monangai.
Yeah.
Right.
So Pierce
like,
was a different situation where the coaching staff came in after his big blow up year. Mm-hmm. So this obviously Monangai is gonna fit their situation better than Pierce fit for the Texans. But anyways, it's about Monangai, not Pierce, who just signed with the Chiefs, so maybe he's relevant again. So
who knows?
Maybe a segue there to be had.
Pierce, Pacheco, Kareem Hunt. Just what a disaster.
Oh my God. That I would just want to You know what? I can't wait until the offseason when we're talking about Jeremiah Love getting drafted to the Chiefs.
Oh my
Chiefs,
God.
Chiefs.
As if they need any help.
I'm gonna write the headlines right now. Chiefs don't make the playoffs, which gets them a low enough pick to get Jeremiah Love, and then he just freaking tears up next year.
Yeah.
But anyways, I liked Monangai's draft profile coming out. He was the Honda Civic of running backs. If you need 2 yards, he'll get you 4 yards. If you need 6 yards, he gets you 4 yards. he was just the very reliable runner and kind of fits the Bears situation pretty well. I was just shocked that he didn't go till the 7th round. So that kind of scared me away.
It was a stacked running back class, right? Like, and it seems like so many of these guys got, I mean, Woody Marks is another one. Like, so many of these guys got pushed down. Scadaboo, like, had the talent to go before the 4th round. But I think a lot of GMs and coaches looked at this and said, hey, we can get a guy that we really like in the 6th or 7th. So we don't need to take a running back in the 3rd.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was surprised to see him go this late too.
My concerns with him is that he's only really been hyper productive this year against the Saints and the Bengals. Bengals obviously goes for 176 yards. It's pretty productive. Plus 3 receptions, so it's nice to see that little bit of receiving workload.
Yeah.
But everything else has been like, looking at his yards per carry, it's around 2 yards per carry this game, 4 yards per carry this game, 3.3 this game. So that's my only concern, is I feel like that production is pretty replaceable, but I'm not concerned about getting it replaced in this draft because there's like no running backs in this upcoming draft. None that at least worries me too much, especially if Monangai is able to keep productive this year, and kind of establish more of a hold on that RB2 40 to 45% snap share kind of position.
Yeah, because I do think that he is a running back too. Like that's his profile, is the running back 2 on a team. He's smaller. He's not super athletic. He's a bit of a bowling ball, but a guy that'll get used around the goal line. And like here, I mean, just the fact that he's getting 13, 12 opportunities in games that are competitive that DeAndre Swift is playing in, that excites me. And who maybe the Bears go out in the 1st round of the playoffs and they're picking at 19 and they draft Jeremiah Love. That's a situation where I would be excited about Monangai, because I think that Ben Johnson could employ a similar thing where he acts as the Monty in this offense.
Is Swift, what's the details on Swift's contract?
Well, this is the 2nd year, right? And I think it was a 3-year deal? I think it might have been a 3-year deal. 2 or a 3-year deal. So maybe there's no way that they get out of it this season. But yeah, I like his upside in this current role. I don't think he needs to increase the role to be productive is my point.
Yeah. Looks like they can get out of him pretty easily this offseason.
I mean, he's playing decently well.
3-year deal. This is his 2nd year of the 3-year deal, and it's essentially a 2-year deal, but third year is easy to get out of with pretty minimal cap cuts. So be interesting to see if they cut him. Do you have any other points on him?
No. You're next, Riser.
For our league mates listening to the podcast right now, what are you willing to buy to send to buy Monangai?
Oh wow!
What's your price range? Because I'm very confused on like what his value should really be.
I think that it's a weird situation where I think he's probably worth a late 2nd. I do think that he is worth a late 2nd. But right now, I don't know what build I would be sending that on. Maybe a punt team, maybe a rebuilding team, because I don't necessarily think that he's going to be somebody I want to be putting in my lineup right now while Swift is healthy. Mm-hmm. But on a punt or rebuild, I would be happy to send a late 2nd if I have one for Monangai instead of rolling the dice with the end of this class, the end of this second round.
It's all you, bud. You can have all the Monangai shares. I think
that's fine.
I'm probably just out on them. I've just been burned too many times by running backs getting their production replaced, especially if they don't have the draft capital to really have any investment in from the team. But he's definitely gained value, like compared to he was going into the fourth.
Yeah, you took him in the fourth.
Yeah, not even like you basically could have taken with the last 4th round pick, which is basically getting first dibs on your waiver claim.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
I guess it just depends on if you see this as his peak value or if he can gain value from this, because this feels like a peak value to me.
It could be. Yeah, I think it depends on the situation, right? Because I think Monty, his entire time in Detroit, or at least the past 2 seasons, if we look at it, his value never really went above a mid-second, early second-round pick. And yet he was a guy that on a contending team you were happy to have in your flex every single week.
Yeah, I think I saw him go for like a 204 or 205 range second pick before. But
yeah, exactly. He's always in that range.
My next guy is Brenton Strange, who has kept many of my leagues afloat this year, if only for his early stretch of games where he way outperformed expectations. First game back after his injury, he put up 16.8 points with 5 catches for 93 yards. He started the season with 12-point game, 6-point game, wasn't great, and then 15, and then 13 and a half. He's kind of been the most consistent target for Trevor Lawrence whenever he's in. And even this game, his first game back, he was Trevor Lawrence's first read. And earlier on in the season, when they had Brian Thomas Jr. healthy, they had Travis Hunter healthy, he was still the first or second look in that offense. So I feel like he's a super cheap add-in. You saw earlier, I made a trade in one of my leagues for Puka, and essentially to get the deal across the finish line, I was like, can you toss in Brenton Strange and we're good. The deal was essentially a 103 rookie pick, 105 projected rookie pick, and then Ladd McConkey, and I got Stafford, Puka, and Brenton Strange back. And he wanted to just do Stafford and Puka, and I was like, toss in Strange for me. And Strange is now my starting tight end. I have him starting over Hunter Henry, who did just blow up this past year.
Against the Bengals.
Yes. and Hawkinson. So I currently trust Strange over Hawkinson. I trust him over Hunter Henry. And I think he's super cheap. You can grab him. He's going to be the first or second look in that offense. And I feel like he's going to be a very steady option going forward. He's only 24. And the team was very willing to move on from Evan Ingram this last offseason.
Yeah.
And they out of their camp, it was all Brenton Strange, our guy. He's our guy. And he's kind of shown it. He's been Trevor Lawrence's kind of most commonly leaned on target in that offense.
Yeah, Lawrence loves the tight end. I mean, he used Ingram a ton. Ingram had a big pause. Yeah, exactly. Now I got that one. Ingram had a big end of 2023, if I remember correctly, and then a good start to last year. He was a little injured, but Lawrence looks to the tight end position. It produces in his offenses, and Strange has the draft capital. Obviously, he was hurt, but I'm excited to see what he does the rest of the year, to see if he can solidify himself as one of these sort of tight ends that come out of nowhere. Like Trey McBride was like that a tiny bit, where he was behind Zach Ertz for a season and then sort of just like sprouted up as soon as he got the opportunity. And yeah, I mean, in a deal like that, like with Puka, you're talking about, Strange seems like a penny in a deal like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to get that thrown in is, yeah.
I value Strange like an early second range. And I sent it back to the guy and he was just like, yeah, why would I want Strange? I think that's a lot of sentiment towards Strange right now. But when he's been healthy, he's been productive. And he's a very consistent option at tight end, which is what that team needed. Was just someone, I don't need that tight end to score 20 points. Get me 10 points. And that's all I need from you. Yeah. So it was a perfect addition to that trade. And I think he's pretty undervalued right now.
Yeah, absolutely. He's gonna end up in like a big tier of a bunch of young potential guys, or at least that's where he is right now. And we'll see if he can jump out of that come
The
come the
Jake
offseason.
Fergusons of the tight end world.
Well, yeah, right now he's like right behind Mason Taylor and Theo Johnson, right ahead of AJ Barner.
He's behind Mason Taylor, so he's like what, tight end 2?
That's the only place to be. Exactly.
For all of our new listeners, just go back to further podcasts. You'll get the joke.
Yeah, Tags loves Mason Taylor.
His favorite.
My last riser here. This guy has really come out of absolutely nowhere. Well, no, he hasn't come out of nowhere, but from where he was being valued coming into this season to now, it's Rico Dowdle. What a weird season for Rico Dowdle. So he's 27.4, and nobody really spoke his name before last year. It's a strange one in that sense where obviously last year he has the 1,000 yards with the Cowboys. And he was very usable as a flex play down the stretch in 2024. And now he comes into Carolina. He's a pure backup behind Chuba. People were really excited about Chuba. And Chuba gets hurt in week 4. Rico goes absolutely crazy in weeks 5 and 6. He scores over 30 points in each of those weeks. Chuba comes back in week 7. Everybody's going, what's going to happen here? How's the workload going to play out? They try to do a split in weeks 7 and 8, but Rico just looked better entirely. So then he plays the majority of the snaps weeks 9 to 12, and he's averaging, so in weeks 5 and 6, where he was the bona fide starter with Chuba hurt, and now weeks 9 to 12, he's averaging 22.7 points per game in those 6 games that he's had the lead role. He's vaulted up to running back 20 on Keep Trade Cut, which is just an insane jump to make. I mean, he's at 21 now. It's changed in the last 3
honest,
hours.
I thought he would be higher. Because
Really?
I have tried to trade for Rico Dowdle, and everyone's I need a late first. And I'm like, I can't justify trading a late first for a soon-to-be 28-year-old running back who doesn't have a contract. He's on a 1-year deal with the Panthers. And by the way, that contract is for like $1.1 million.
Oh, dude, he's making nothing. And this
like
is the thing.
Panthers are getting so much production out of him for $1 million.
He's valued in the same tier with like Javonte, Chase Brown, Kenneth Walker, and Travis Etienne. And I'm looking at this and I'm just thinking like, okay, he's scoring a ton of points right now, but all of these guys, they have more pedigree as talents, as running backs.
Yep.
They have more history of being good, and they're all younger than him. So if his value sticks here, once we get to the startup, the first Sell High video, the first Sell High podcast that we like, he's going to be on there because I just, like you said, he has no contract. He has no commitment from this team. We just saw this team pay Chuba and then have somebody be able to overtake him. So there is no telling what happens with Rico going forward. This is an incredibly volatile asset that I just want nothing to do with.
And the Panthers have to be wishing that they gave that money to Rico right now.
Yeah.
Like they gave him a 4-year deal with an annual salary of $8.3 million a year.
And it seemed like maybe it was like panicking from the Jonathan Brooks injury. Maybe like they knew it was long term, so they were like, "We got to lock up Chuba."
Chuba was productive though. Chuba looked good.
He was good. I really liked Chuba this offseason.
For whatever reason, he's being outplayed by Rico Dowdle. So
I was also thinking,
I don't know what happened. But
since he came back, like Chuba looked good at the beginning of the year, right? Like he had 2 productive games to start the season, and then he comes back and he doesn't look as good as Rico does. Could that have to do with the injury? Could Rico get an extension here? Which I don't even think happens because are they going to pay Rico and Chuba? Surely Rico gets a better contract than what the Panthers are willing to give him.
They can't pay both.
You wouldn't think so.
Rico and Dowdle.
It doesn't make any sense.
Especially when other teams are going to be bidding for Dowdle too and bring his price up.
Because then nobody was bidding for him last year after he's had 1,000 yards. So I don't know. It's really weird, but like I would not. Maybe you ride this into the sun, Like maybe if you're you have a contender and you have Rico, just ride it. But I don't know if I could flip him for like ETN right now, I would do that.
Yeah,
If
easily.
I could flip him, like, you know what I mean? Like,
I feel very confident that ETN is going to have a starter.
yeah, he's
job
a first round pick. He's
next
2
year.
years younger, like, or he's a year younger than Rico, but he's a first round pick. He has the pedigree. Yeah. I'm not vibing with this running back 21 ranking right now.
Rico's been a weird one all year. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with this guy.
Yeah.
He keeps performing like an RB1, but I don't want to pay the money for him because he doesn't have the contract. He's an older running back, and he also doesn't have the history. He's never produced like this before in his career.
Like he should be valued like here's my take. He should be valued like Matt Stafford is, where like he's gonna score a lot of points, but he's like ticking. But instead, people are valuing him like he's, I don't know, not Patrick Mahomes, but like who's a Justin Herbert or something, where like this is gonna last for 5 years, and it's just not. It's just not at all.
It hurts my brain that you went to quarterback evaluation.
Because I'm saying like
back.
Stafford is scoring a lot of points, but he's old and it's gonna end.
Longevity, yes.
I should have thought about the analogy before I went into it. Do you have another riser?
Yeah, and it's the most talked about guy currently, which is Shedeur Sanders.
1 week of practice, man. 1 week of practice.
That's all it takes.
Oh my gosh.
He was declared the starter over Gabriel, and they got the win. That means a lot in Cleveland because they don't get those very often.
He was actually like the
Browns
first
fans listening.
I think he was like the first rookie Browns quarterback to win in his first start.
Yep.
In like 3 decades or something.
But he didn't look great that game. He had the one long throw to Isaiah Bond, which was a great.
It's also the
throw.
Raiders, by the way.
A great throw. Like, the Raiders, who have one of the worst defenses in the NFL.
Yeah.
Didn't look great outside that long throw to Bond, but their situation is really interesting because Browns currently have the 6th overall pick. If they win a few more games, it may knock them out of the quarterback territory for this upcoming draft because there's not many quarterbacks in this upcoming draft. There's possibly...
It's very all over the place. Nobody knows who's declaring.
And then there's Ty Simpson, and I feel like those are the only two you can really semi-count on currently.
But people are even saying Ty Simpson is going to go back because he has only played 1 season.
So nobody
has any idea
on quarterback this
but
draft.
Dante Moore could declare. Yeah, it's all a mess. I hate that like we have to wait. It's just how it works. Like you want to talk about this stuff now, but we just have no definitive answers at all.
Yeah, come on. Can you guys just declare for the draft already?
Just so we
have some talking points.
Don't even. You don't have to just tell me.
Just tell us. Yeah.
Just tell us. You don't got to tell everybody. Just tell us.
We won't leak it on our podcast.
Definitely not. We will say hypothetically if Ty Simpson were to declare.
But we'll do a wink so the people know that it's true. We'll give you guys the insider info for being the first people to listen to the pod. But yeah, if they win a few more games, they could be out of that Ty Simpson running. We're going to assume that they're going to declare. If they're a first round caliber quarterback.
Until they don't. Until they say they're not.
We're going to assume they are. So if they win a few more games, they could knock themselves into like the 10 to 15 range because their defense is incredibly elite. Myles Garrett is quite literally having the best season for a defensive end ever. He needs 5 more sacks in 6 games to break the record. And they're single-handedly keeping them in games. And they have their schedule coming up as the 49ers. I think that is doable given the state of the Browns defense. Like their defense is just that good. Titans. Sorry, Sammy.
Dude, oh my God. Kate. No, we actually need to talk about this for a second. If Shedeur, is that game in Tennessee?
Oh my gosh.
Do you have that on hand?
We're going to need your own support group for the podcast. Dude, if they beat you guys in Tennessee.
Oh my God. It's not even them. I don't care if the Browns beat us. If Shedeur Sanders beats the Tennessee Titans, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like we took Cam Ward. Oh my God. Okay, no, it's in Cleveland. It's in Cleveland.
For a solo episode of the pod, the Tags show.
Dude,
you're gonna get all my takes about Mason Taylor.
The thing is, I know it's going to happen. It's going to be Shedeur against Cam, and it's just going
I'm
to be
betting on the Browns in that situation just because of their defense. And then they have the Bears.
Existence is pain, and life is meaningless.
They have the Bears.
Why do I do this?
They have the Bills, who Bills just lost to how many? They got blown out by the Dolphins, loses to Davis Mills. And then they have
Josh Allen takes a career high in sacks.
Yeah. And then they have Steelers and Bengals. That's a very winnable end of season schedule. So it's going to be
as
interesting.
far as the Browns go. Yeah.
Yeah, as far as the Browns go. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what his value is if it's looking like he's going to have another year as a starting quarterback. So my take on quarterback values, because I thought you were telling me earlier, you sent a message in a group text and were like, is Shedeur Sanders like a sell right now? And my take is, if a quarterback has a starting job, then I'm holding him until I can get him up to a late first value, because quarterbacks can reach that late first value very quickly and very easily. And they hold value for quite a while, as long as they have a starting job. And if it looks like Shedeur Sanders is going to have a starting job next year, which that the Browns have a lot of needs to fix in the draft, I could easily see them, even if they're in the Ty Simpson range, I could easily see them saying, we need offensive line, we need a wide receiver, we need to go to the store to get these ingredients before we can bake the pie. And I could easily see them punting to 2027 to get a quarterback in that draft, have another year to develop an offensive line, because their offensive line is very old. There's a lot of pieces on the offensive line that needs replaced. They don't have really any receiving weapons outside of Jerry Jeudy and Harold Fannin and Samson, who just scored a super long touchdown. So I kind of think there's a good chance he maintains the starter job into next year, especially if he can string together a few more wins. And that alone is going to raise his value. And if I can get him up to a late first, that's when I'm selling. It's like setting your sell points on your stocks. If they reach 10% gains, I'm cashing out. And if they're not a mobile quarterback, if they're a pocket quarterback, I'm taking the late first and just going to re-roll that into a new player.
Yeah, I think that makes a ton of sense. I think the reason I asked the question was because I look at Shedeur and I don't think he's very good. And he
did drop very late in the draft, because apparently other people think that too.
Exactly. And I think that there's so much politics involved here, where, like, I don't know if you saw, did you see Stefanski's post-game speech in the locker room by chance?
I did not.
So he's the big win, right? They're all excited. He's congratulating everybody. He's like yelling, "Oh, our punter did such a good job. Oh, this guy did such a good job." And then he's like, "And our rookie quarterback was really good." And just sort of skips, like, he just exudes that he hates Shedeur. And this guy wouldn't be active on game days if they didn't trade Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel didn't get hurt. Like, the reason I asked the question is because I guess I'm more skeptical of if it's remotely possible that he gets to that late first value, and maybe I'm trying too hard to thread the needle and say, if I could get like a mid-second right now and cash out on a guy who, I mean, some people took him in the second or third round of rookie drafts. I definitely wasn't doing that. I wasn't drafting him. I wasn't drafting him at all.
Who are these people?
But yeah, I guess maybe I'm trying to thread the needle too hard, and I should just like stick it out and say whatever. But yeah, if he does hold the starting job into the offseason, I guess I could see a world where if he looks even a little bit good, there could be a selling window where you could get a late first for him before the draft.
Yeah, I think
I would be terrified walking into the draft.
I think for quarterbacks, it's so much easier for them to reach that value range. Whereas for a running back to hit the late first value range, they need to be putting up late back end RB1 numbers. where even if Shedeur Sanders puts up mid QB2 numbers, hopefully if he can get up to like QB14, that'd be ideal. But even mid QB2, a lot of times you can get that late first from somebody for a QB needy team. I did that with Bryce Young. He was benched.
Yeah.
He was benched last year, lost all of his value, came in for like a 3-game stretch, played really well, and his value immediately recovered to a late first. So I feel like there's so many selling windows for quarterbacks that I'm fine holding him and risking that, because almost more likely than not, there's going to be a selling window for a first range. And if not, I feel like there's going to be a lot more selling windows to just cash out mid-second, someone who needs a couple week rental quarterback to start. I'm more like, whenever there's a rookie quarterback like this, I'm just holding and trying to get the bag for late first. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It's a minimal investment.
Well, there's no investment.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah,
right. So yeah, it's sort of where you can afford to hold because you're not worried about losing any value because he didn't have any to begin with. But moving over to my first faller, we're sticking with the quarterback position, and I have a little combo here of 2 guys drafted in 2024, JJ McCarthy and Michael Penix. So these two, they can easily be lumped together because they've sort of fallen into just the muck of bad quarterbacks, right? This is what I call the Tua zone. This is where Tua has lived on Keep Trade Cut for what feels like forever, where he's just been not very good and he has a concussion every year and nobody wants him, right? Except for Tags. Tags loves him.
I did buy him everywhere,
but they
I will not talk about it.
They are the quarterback 24 and 25 on Keep Trade Cut. Not good. I don't know if you've heard this stat, Tags, but JJ McCarthy ranks out of 852 qualifying passers in EPA per dropback. So expected points added per dropback. He ranks out of 852. Guess where?
Oh, I hate this game.
852.
It's not great. Room for improvement is what you're saying.
So he's second last. He ranks 851 out of 852, and he is only ahead of Jamarcus Russell.
You mean 101 overall first round overall pick in the NFL, Jamarcus Russell?
The most notorious bust of all time, probably. Jamarcus Russell. So he's just not good. He's just not good right now, and he isn't showing many signs of being better.
Yeah.
Like, there isn't a quarterback who has dug themselves out of a start this bad. Josh Allen was not this bad. Any other quarterback who struggled to begin, Jared Goff was not this bad. Like,
and none of those quarterbacks had the system and support that McCarthy does too. Like, I'm sorry,
Kevin O'Connell made Nick Mullins look good. Like, this is
Vikings,
bad.
Hit me up, because I feel like I can like throw the ball to JJ and be productive,
dude.
Like having the greatest wide receiver of our time, of the past like 10 years, on your team, and you still can't be productive, that's where this is most concerning. He was super young coming out of college, didn't have a ton of starts.
He didn't throw the ball when he needed, when he did start. Like, in the national championship game, he threw the ball 10 times.
Yeah. So
they didn't ask it of him. And it was a huge conversation coming into the draft. Are the tools enough where we can trust that this guy who doesn't have that many starts, and in his starts doesn't have that many pass attempts, can he develop? And is he ready? And the answer, he had a complete year off, and the answer was no.
Yeah.
So
he was 21 when he came out, so he's pretty young. And like we said, like, didn't have a ton of reps. So I mean, at this point, if you're a McCarthy owner, what do you do? Do you hold?
I don't know if you have a choice, but I'm terrified that he's not going to be the starter next year.
Yeah. I mean,
what's stopping the Vikings from trading for Mac Jones? Right? Like, if you
so much better.
If this continues and it doesn't get better, You cannot go into 2026 with JJ McCarthy as your starter. You can't. It's too bad.
If I have him on my team, I'm like actively trying to get a late first for him, and just like I just want to re-roll this pick into a new attempt at a player.
I don't know if anybody's. I would be shocked if somebody paid that right now.
I think there are enough people who do not keep up with the week to week of the NFL and player developments throughout the week that I think you can sell him. But he's definitely way more of a difficult sell than he was. I
mean, I genuinely just think it's over. I mean, the only share that I had one share and I sold it in a bit of a flip. I needed a quarterback to start. There were a few other pieces going around, but I sent him in a deal where I got Brock Purdy back. And that guy thought he was upgrading. So, but yeah, like I just don't think I don't see how it gets better this year. And I don't think he's starting next year. And then he's just like Zach Wilson.
So they'd have to replace him in free agency because they have the number 12 pick right now.
Yeah, I don't think they would draft somebody. I don't think the pick's gonna be good enough. But who knows? I mean, they could, right?
Bring Carson Wentz back. Carson Wentz played better than he is right now until he got injured.
No, you want somebody more competent than that, I think. But
that alone should make people just be like, all right, I need to get away from this guy if Carson Wentz is out playing him.
Easy candidate for a trade for Mac Jones or some other vet, like somebody who can operate this offense well and isn't JJ McCarthy. And he's just absolutely plummeted in value.
Yeah, the fact that he's thrown 6 touchdowns and 10 interceptions this year already.
And yeah, not great.
And like the rest of the team's that team is good. So
they're really good. They're a little hurt on the offensive line, but they have 2 good running backs. They have 2 stud receivers. TJ Hawkinson is not what he was, but he's still fine.
Yeah. He's
people
still
are
better
like
than a lot
people
of
are saying you like in redraft circles, you can't start Jordan Addison right now. And Justin Jefferson, it's like everybody who talks about Justin Jefferson in redraft right now is like, okay, yeah, you put him in your lineup, but you don't want to do it. Like, you're not happy about it, but you can't bench him.
I've got all my JJ shares. I just like look at it. I'm just like, okay, that's fine. 13 points. Like, can we do better though? Like,
and
you're wanting this guy
no.
to be your wide receiver 1. You want him to be able to put up CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase numbers. He should be putting up Puka numbers with how good he is. And you just, it's rough, man. I'm trying to get out of him, but
100%.
It's going to be tough finding the right person who is still sold on him, I think.
Even Bryce Young wasn't this bad. Like, that's the thing. And I'm like, okay, like, I would probably try, if I could get a second for him, I might do that right now because I don't see a path. And he hasn't even been benched. Bryce Young was benched.
Yeah.
And there just isn't anybody behind him. Like, there isn't, and like, Matt, they're not, I mean, he's in concussion protocol now. So Max Brosmer, imagine Max Brosmer looks competent in this offense. Ballin'. Dude, it's over. It's over.
It's over, so yeah. If you get outplayed by Brosmer, then...
And on the other side of this, Michael Penix just is now dealing with his 3rd ACL tear since he entered college. So the first 2 were on the other leg. This one is his first ACL tear on the leg that had never been torn before, if that makes sense. And now people are talking about, like, where are the Falcons going to go from here at quarterback, because this is a guy who has had so many injuries. Like, they just pile up. It's every year he hurts his shoulder or his knee or something.
It sucks.
I would currently lean that he gets another shot in 2026.
I 100% think so, because he was playing pretty good.
Yeah, he wasn't playing bad.
That's my thing. Like, he was passing the eye test for me, at least, because he's thrown for 2,000 yards, 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions this year. Those are pretty good numbers. So
yeah, it's not nearly as bad. It's just the injury worry. And like I said, I would lean that he gets another shot in 2026 once he is healthy. He hasn't played badly enough to be replaced. They've already benched Kirk.
Do they expect him to be ready for season next year?
I don't know, but it's just an ACL, so he should be close, right? Because now they're like, 10 months?
They said he had basically a full reconstructive surgery on the knee.
Yeah.
So that kind of tells me that there was a little bit more going on there, whether it was arthritis or any other complications from the injury, but they said they needed full knee reconstruction on it. So that has me a little bit concerned. But when he's in, he's looked good. He's got a hell of an arm.
If I have to take one of these guys
in 2026, assuming the knee doesn't have any setbacks.
Yeah, or at the very least, once he is healthy in 2026, he's the starter, even if it's not right at the beginning of the season, right? If I had to take one of these guys right now, I would definitely take Michael Penix. It's not even close.
I'm taking Penix all day.
If I could turn JJ McCarthy into Penix, I think that's perfect because you'll be hard pressed to sell JJ McCarthy to somebody. But somebody with Michael Penix, maybe they just need a little change of scenery because they're not happy with Michael Penix because obviously he's hurt and he's not helping them and all this stuff. And at least JJ McCarthy has a chance to gain value this year, even though we both think that it's a moot point because he's not great because he's not good. But yeah,
yeah. If
tough for
me at least
for those guys.
I don't really want to sell McCarthy for a second. It just feels kind of, I don't know. It just feels bad. So I think, I think it's one of those where I'd rather just hold him. It's gonna feel awful holding him, but I'm just gonna hope that he flashes and regains some of his value. I don't think I want to sell him for a second.
What like? It obviously feels terrible. What feels worse is if you drafted Zach Wilson in the top half of the first round of a startup or of a rookie draft, and then he literally went to zero value.
Yeah, but there's a lot of pit stops along the way. I'm saying
what if this, like, I think this is the peak. I do not think his value goes up from here.
I don't think this is the final pit stop because it took Zach Wilson 4 years to drop all of his value. And
he kept getting shots. Yeah.
There were sell windows along the way. I think this is just one of the scenic overlooks of the shit Grand Canyon that is his value trajectory. I think there's going to be other pit stops you take along the way, which could give you selling windows. And I'm just hoping that he flashes enough to get back up to that first territory so I can sell him. If not, I don't want to sell him for a second now because I feel like I could hold him and see what I have, and his value is still going to be a second. I don't think currently it can completely drop out of a second, at least for this year. If it's next year and it's they drafted a quarterback or they signed a quarterback, they signed Mac Jones. Mac Jones is a starter. Then his value's only dependent on him somehow waiting for a quarterback injury in front of him to start playing again. That's when I'm scared, but they drafted him he was a top 10 pick, wasn't he?
He's 12th overall? Close, if not top 10.
Yeah, so you can't really count last year because of the injury. And this year he's been injured a lot too. So I don't think the Vikings are that willing to move off of him, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, because at a certain point, the proof is in the pudding, right? If Max Brosmer, I can't believe this. If Max Brosmer comes in and looks good.
Oh, I can't wait just for next week on the podcast to talk about it.
If Max Brosmer comes in, we don't even know if he's going to play yet, right? Because JJ could just clear the protocol. But if Brosmer plays, looks competent, and then... do they put JJ back in right away?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I think what's their record?
It's a lost year and you should see what you have.
But I think that argument goes in favor of JJ. Because Brosmer is clearly not the future of that organization, or else he would have been drafted higher. I think you just have to play JJ just to get enough on tape where you can review it in the offseason and then decide from there if you need to pursue a quarterback in the offseason or draft a guy. But you have to put JJ in the rest of this season.
You need
just to get as many reps as possible.
Yeah, you need as much evidence as possible to go into making your decision in the offseason. So I concur there. That enough of that gross conversation. Do you? Who's your first faller? Do you have a faller?
I have a faller. McCarthy was also on my falling list, so I'm gonna count it as one of mine. So, my other faller is Jaylen Warren. He's been productive. He's still getting volume, but he's been losing snap share percentage every single week for the last 3 weeks. Kenneth Gainwell has outsnapped him for 3 weeks in a row. He's now getting about zero usage in the passing game, which is kind of what we were excited for, was him in that hybrid role.
Yeah.
And he's lost all of the passing game work to Kenneth Gainwell. So I feel like his snap percentage is it's starting to funnel more to Gainwell. Third week in a row where Gainwell started to outsnap him. Gainwell's getting all the passing game work. He should have gotten that touchdown. He like 4 inches short and went out of bounds. And then Jaylen Warren sniped that touchdown from him. And without that touchdown, Warren would have had kind of a dud game this past week. So I'm scared if I'm a Jaylen Warren owner, just because they've shown that they kind of want to give Kenneth Gainwell more snaps and more work. And hasn't been incredibly productive with the touches he has. You're just going to get 7 to 12 points from him, and that's pretty much all he's going to contribute. Unless he snipes more Gainwell touchdowns.
He's sort of been on this weird roller coaster of value, because coming into the year, it was like, okay, he's probably the starter, but Caleb Johnson is right on his heels. And then that obviously fell apart immediately. And Caleb Johnson is just nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jaylen Warren is an undrafted free agent who is behind Najee, who it's just a weird situation to get where he is now. And yeah, just there's hardly any job security here, to the point where Kenny Gainwell looks good. Okay, Kenny Gainwell is going to get more snaps. So yeah, he's a guy that you can throw into your lineup in a good matchup right now. But long term, this team has no commitment to him. And
Gainwell is like, he's in flex territory now, even with Jaylen Warren healthy.
Especially with the PPR value, like he's getting like targeted over and over and over again.
Yeah, and we already saw what he can do when Jaylen Warren is injured. He just blew up during that time frame.
Well, yeah, the Minnesota game in Ireland, but then like 6 targets in a game, 5, 3, 8, and 6 in the past 2 weeks. Last week he was 7 for 81. Like, is this like? Am I looking at Devon Achane, or what's going on here?
He's kind of their wide receiver too in that offense.
They need it. I mean, they've got 300-pound Darnell Washington and Kenny Gainwell.
Yeah, that's pretty much
what
all
else
they
do you
got.
Need?
But what else do you need
in the passing game? Yeah, exactly.
True. How dare I want more from my receivers?
Yeah, okay. My last faller to round us out here, I had Chuba written down as well, but I sort of
feel like we kinda
accidentally
covered it.
wove him into the Rico conversation. So my last guy here is Rome Odunze. 23 and a half years old. We talked about him earlier this season as a candidate for touchdown regression, because I think he had 5 in the first 4 weeks. And it was just sort of, this isn't sustainable. We know that this is not sustainable. But since the bye in week 5, he's only had 1 touchdown. And over that span, since the bye week, he's averaging 3 receptions for 50 yards, getting him 9.1 PPR points per game. I remember, you might have to jog my memory here, but we had a keep trade cut question around that time, where I think it was Egbuka, Neighbors, and Odunze.
Yeah, Egbuka, Neighbors, and Odunze.
And that is just crazy to think about now, with how Odunze has just fallen off like crazy. And I'll quickly go back to the lazy comparison of the Lions offense. But the only consistently productive option in the passing game in that Lions offense has been Amon-Ra when Ben Johnson was there. Laporta had the good rookie year. J-Mo has flashed, but these guys are not consistent fantasy options like we projected Rome to be after those first 4 weeks. So And Rome profiles so much differently than Amon-Ra, right? He's not that like crisp, short area route runner. Like he's more of a contested catch, like these difficult, low percentage plays that Ben Johnson hates. Like Ben Johnson is so scheme, get guys open and get them moving. Where I feel like, does Rome fit into that? Is Rome ever going to be a wide receiver 1 on this team? Like it scares me.
Yeah, I mean he's a good
He's so
player,
talented.
though. That's where I'm just
We know that he's so talented.
That's what I'm so stuck on, because it's a matter of like meshing the talent with the system that can best utilize him. Because no one is arguing his talent. He was a top pick in that NFL draft. A lot of people were saying he was on kind of the same tier as Marvin Harrison Jr. and Neighbors.
Yeah.
And yeah, his skill set's just like not what Ben Johnson has typically used. He's usually the intermediate to long ball, kind of jump ball kind of receiver.
And Ben Johnson didn't draft him, right?
Yeah.
There's also that.
The thing that's weird, though, is that his production has dropped, but no one's really picked up the slack.
No, you're absolutely right. Like DJ Moore has had a few games with some touchdowns. Luther Burden's getting worked in a tiny bit. But
yeah,
Colson Loveland had the big game against
up.
Cincinnati.
Burden
but
started
yeah,
to
you're
pick
right.
up, but like
they're not.
If it was as easy as like, oh yeah, we know why he's not productive is because this player is taking a lot of those production, but it's not happening. Everyone's just kind of, I don't know. Everyone's just kind of doing average at best in that system, and they're still winning games and being kind of productive on the offense. But like, I don't understand why Rome isn't kind of more hyper focused on that offense. Because early on in the season, he was funneled targets. He was kind of manufacturing volume for him, and then we see.
But even then,
against the Bengals defense, he had 3 targets, 0 receptions,
and that was the game where after that his dad was like on social media going like, "You got to throw it to Rome." And then and then the next week against the Giants, he's 10 targets, 6 receptions for 86 and a touchdown. But even in the first 4 weeks. Yeah, the targets 9, 11, 7, and 8. In week 2, he was 7 for 128, but in the other games, he never got over 70 yards. He was just scoring a lot of touchdowns, and since then, like he's had games of 32, 31, 41, 53 yards. It's just not consistent. It's not... Like the targets haven't been incredible. He's had games with 5, 6, and 6, along with the one against the Bengals with 3. So he's in this tier on keep trade cut right now. He's down to wide receiver 15. That's how the community's valuing him. Around like George Pickens, Nico Collins, Ladd, Garrett Wilson, Marv. So many questions with all these guys.
And as we talked earlier, I think I'm taking Pickens over him.
Oh, 100%.
If I could swap, if I could swap Odunze for Pickens, I would do that right now.
2 months ago, we were talking about him in the same tier as like Buka and Neighbors.
Yeah.
And
my theory, okay, looking at his scores, 15.7, 31.8, 15.2, 16.9, and then the bye week. And after the bye week, 5 points, 5 points, 18 points, 0 points. Hear me out. Let's just get rid of bye weeks.
Bye weeks.
They cooled him
no
down.
Rest allowed.
They cooled him down. Because starting stretch of the season, those first 4 games, he was on fire. And then something happened during the bye week, and they have not funneled him volume ever since then.
Yeah, he's had 2 games. He's had 2 games where you're not extremely disappointed with him.
Yep. And starting him in my lineup, I'm kind of just hoping he doesn't put up a goose.
Yeah. You feel like you have to.
And
it's one of those things where it's like Jefferson.
Those players. A lot of those players like J-Mo and Waddle, these guys, and T. Higgins a lot of times. Like these players that they can either give you 20 points or they give you a goose egg. And very rarely do they do anything productive in between. And he's starting to feel like he's in that tier of players. And I avoid that tier of players because I hate when players cannot contribute at least give me a floor. but it feels
Yeah.
like Odunze's floor could be 0 receptions. And I don't
Exactly. It's the same. It's like Jameson.
Yeah, I don't like
we
a
know
player's floor being
Jameson
able to
Williams
be
is-
0 receptions. They need to have.
We
They're just not.
we know
prioritized,
Jameson
it
Williams.
feels like.
Yeah, absolutely. We know Jameson Williams is talented, right? He was a top
drafted in
15
the
pick in
first
the
round.
draft. Yes, very like a highly touted prospect, same as Rome. And look, with Rome, maybe his schedule is good going forward. Oh, no, it's Philly, Green Bay, Cleveland, Green Bay.
He's done for.
It couldn't be much worse.
Gosh, I have him in a few leagues, and looking at that schedule, I'm like, I need to get rid of this guy.
Yeah,
I'm about to hit up every Pickens owner. I'm like, hey, want to do swap skis?
He's been falling a ton, and I think it might only get worse.
Yeah, with that
Scary hours.
upcoming schedule, like I can't imagine him being productive against any of those defenses.
Maybe he has a big play against Green
Yeah.
Bay, but like he's just not the type of receiver that Ben Johnson covets. It's
Yeah.
really tough.
Yeah, that's a good faller because it's definitely been felt by the Odunze owners.
I think
Now that
that is all we got.
Now that we ended everything on a down note,
we should have done the risers.
just give me a riser to end on a good note. What's your favorite player in the NFL right now? Like
my favorite
the
player
one you're
in the
most
NFL right
excited
now.
to check in on after the games to see like what his scorecard is.
Oh, that's really tough. You know what? It's probably. Oh, that's so hard. Right now, I think going into this next week, Jackson Dart. I'm really excited because everybody is really worried about Jackson Dart's rushing going down, and I don't think it's going to happen at all. I think he's going to go for 50 yards, and he's going to score a rushing touchdown.
It's a big part of his skill set.
Yeah, what are you just going to nerf the guy?
Yeah.
You want your offense to suck?
You're like, he has this weapon available. Like, that is part of his toolkit. You can't just not use it because you're worried about injuring your quarterback. Because guess what? Quarterbacks can get injured passing the ball. Look at Joe Burrow.
Michael Penix.
Yeah.
A knee hits his helmet and he tears his ACL.
There's already.
He's sitting in the pocket. Yeah.
It's already going to happen. You might as well utilize your skill set and try to get the best chance for a win.
Absolutely. We love Jackson Dart.
Mine is another Jackson. It's Jackson Smith and Jigba. Dude,
oh God, easy one.
Every time I look, he's just like, oh, he scored me 40 points this week. Cool. Wonder what he does next week. 48 points.
This was his highest score of the year, and nobody really batted an eye. It was just like, yeah.
It's funny.
Oh, JSN scored 37. Yeah, okay.
It's been so nice and satisfying because all of us JSN owners sat on him for 2 years, 3 years, waiting for this to happen. And now that it's finally here, it's like no one's talking about him. But he's quietly having an incredible season.
Well, let me tell you, Tags, keep trade cuts talking about him because he is the second overall player.
And I feel like that's warranted.
He's only behind Josh Allen on KTC right now, which is interesting to say the least.
It's funny because he had his breakout season last year where everyone's like, JSN has arrived. He blew up, was crushing for teams. And guess what? There's 5 more games left in the season, and he's already passed that season total from last year. He's
in yards,
he's insane. This year.
Set the record. He set the record this weekend for most receiving yards in a season in Seahawks history, and he's played 11 games.
And he might be going for the NFL record on that. What's the NFL
he's on pace to beat it. It's Megatron. I think it's 1920 something. I think he had, and he's on pace for over 2,000. JSN is
1964.
Yeah. 1964, and Jason is on pace to beat that. And also, I think the Seahawks are like second to last in pass rate.
Yeah,
he is not running nearly as many routes as Calvin Johnson ran in that season.
Doesn't need to when they're all 60-yard touchdown bombs.
I mean, he has a 37% target share. You know who the second leading receiver? So JSN this past week. This is the last thing, and then we'll get out of here. Jason this past week had 167 yards. Okay? You know who the next leading receiver for the Seahawks was against the Titans? Kenneth Walker. with 30.
That's what we all expected.
JSN had 167.
They don't need anyone else outside of them.
Dude, it's insane.
So anyways,
yeah, it's absolutely insane.
Doesn't that feel so much better ending on a positive note?
It does feel better.
We got to talk about Megatron a little bit. God, good times.
This is good. Thank you all so much for listening.
Yeah, leave a comment. Who's your favorite player to watch, or who was your favorite? Who's your old school player that?
I like it. Yeah,
was it Megatron? Because we all loved Megatron.
Yeah, for everybody who got to watch him while they were not 12 like me.
And I started watching football when I was 10. You could have watched him.
I could have watched him. You're right. You're absolutely right. That's my bad, guys. I'll do better. I'll do better. I promise.
Unacceptable, really.
Yeah, but leave a like on the podcast. Subscribe. We're over on Apple and Spotify if you prefer to listen there. Give us a rating or like or follow or whatever you do on those platforms. Leave some comments. What sort of content do you guys want to see? Because we're kind of just doing this on the fly. Me and Tags will be texting on Sunday. What do we think is a good topic for this coming week? We decided this morning.
What is your heart telling you?
Exactly. So yeah, if there's certain things you guys want to hear, we are happy to do it. Just let us know. And we will see you all next week.
See you next week. Don't eat too much turkey.